To get people thinking, obviously Ben Fellows found not guilty, as you say, by a jury. What a critical thing the jury is, key part of our common law and constitution. We should remember that Ken Clarke, of course, one of the leading Conservative MPs, who says that we need secret courts, and if you don't want secret courts, you're not a right-thinking person. I think we can see why.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at what the police have been up to in Nottingham with Tom Crawford.
Right, so here we've got, well, you and I, David, seem to have put freedom of information requests in at about the same time regarding this. Well, the first thing that I want to highlight here, that they haven't put yours up on the Nottinghamshire Police website yet, but my one is up. They have. I didn't call it this. They've called it this: costs of Operation Hooper. So, just want to make the point that this police action has a name, Operation Hooper, as you discovered in your freedom of information request. So here's my answer first. And the first thing, I simply asked how much did it cost, and I asked who pays the bill. And they've basically said that, well, first of all, we can't say how much it cost, because in order to do that, then every police operation would have to get an individual cost code, and that would have to, that's just too much difficulty. So we can't say how much it cost. And then the second point they made was who pays for it. And they're saying that because this was a normal police operation, that the taxpayer, the council taxpayer, pays for it, comes out of the normal police budget. Well, I just had a look at a set of accounts. This was the first set of accounts that I could find from Nottingham Police, and it's for 2012, 2013. And the interesting thing about this is that they have a line item there called Special Operations. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe somebody can help me with that. But, maybe I'm putting two and two together and getting six. I don't know. But this event to remove Tom Crawford's family from their house was given an operational name, Operation Hooper. And so is that a special operation? I don't know, but certainly special operations have a line item. And I'm just going to ask the question here, is this response from Nottingham Police accurate when they say that they cannot tell me how much it cost because it just falls into the normal budget? Now, the one thing that they did say in their response to me was that in addition, there were additional costs to the normal everyday costs, and that was £6,600 overtime and £1,000 for food and sustenance. So that we know that much at least, but they certainly don't know any more. Now, your answer, which they haven't put on the website yet, you asked some different questions. So run us through this.
Yes, well, I was asking who was in charge, so I got the name there. I don't know if you can zoom in on that.
Well, it's Chief Superintendent Mark Holland.
Yes, so he was the man in charge. And then I asked how many people it took to evict Tom from his home. And the answer was a somewhat surprising 129 police officers to remove the Crawford family. But don't worry, only 50 at any one time. So we were operating a shift system. And I didn't get anywhere on costs, obviously, for the same reason. But I also asked what documentation they saw to convince the Nottingham Police that this was a lawful operation. And they said that they don't possess, but they saw a copy of a county court warrant. So that seems pretty low-grade documentation to me to launch 129 officers to evict a family from their home. I would have hoped that they would have actually possessed some paperwork, not simply saw a copy of a county court warrant. I think we have some more questions to ask on that one.
Indeed, but as well as that, in that response, you asked about meetings that they held?
Well, yes, I asked when they started to plan the operation, and the answer was 20th of May. So it's been a long time in the planning because 129 people in all those vans and things, it takes a while to organise. So they started to plan this in secret on the 29th of May. In a meeting with the UKAR Limited, people who hold the debt, and that meeting took place in the county court buildings. I thought that was quite interesting.
Well, that seems to imply something more than normal police operations then.
Well, it does sound a little bit like collusion, doesn't it? But
or at least a special operation.
Well, yeah. I think the one thing that you couldn't describe that operation was normal.
No.
There was nothing normal about it. It was certainly special. They were sitting down planning it since the 20th of May, and they were planning with the bailiff organisation who were trying to undertake the eviction, and they were doing this on only a county court warrant and only a copy at that.
Right, so you made the point about the warrant and getting a copy of the warrant, and indeed in the chat box somebody is asking the question, where is the wet ink? And this, just by coincidence, this might seem like a very small thing, and it is a very small thing, but it brought an interesting little nugget of information out, because across the road from our offices at the T-junction, there is a new set of double yellow lines that have been painted on the road, which means you can't park there. And the length of the double yellow lines from the distance from the corner to the end of the double yellow lines seemed to be quite long to me, so I simply asked the local council for a copy of the relevant road traffic order which justified the painting of the lines on the road. Seems like a silly thing, but here we go. Here is the front page of that order, and as you can see, it's just text on a page. It says City of Plymouth Traffic Regulation Orders Amendment, blah de blah de blah, and so on. Right, but on the last page, remember this is an order which changes legislation. It creates a new regulation and allows them to paint lines on the road. On the back, on the last page, here we go. The order shall come in force on a date. It is dated, it is signed, and it has the common seal of the Council of the City of Plymouth. So it is sealed, signed, and dated. And at the end of the day, I want to ask the question: if this is the standard of seal that is required on a document, on an order to put yellow lines on a road, why has Tom Crawford never seen the warrant sealed, signed and dated which justified the taking of his property? Have the police seen this warrant sealed, signed and dated? Now this is a copy of the warrant, but you can quite clearly see, or a copy of the order, but you can quite clearly see on this order that it is a proper seal, and these seals are not appearing on any court documents. So that's the question that I want to ask. If something as insignificant as double yellow lines gets this standard of seal, signature and date, why are our court documents not seeing the same standard?
I think that's an excellent question. I would love to hear the answer to that one.
Yes.
Well, I think we're going to get closer to it, and I love Guy Taylor's description of the unicorn warrant. That's the name of the beast that we're after. Let's see how long it takes to turn up so that we can actually see that such a creature exists. But I think Guy's right, the creature doesn't exist. Yeah. Well, David, take us north of the border. You've got a number of very interesting things here. The first